January 12, 2026. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. It was another very slow grinding day. It looked like there was a sell-off, two legs down, well, maybe three choppy legs down, a push up, and it looked like it was moving up a gradual channel, but I don't really trust this. It's just more as a guideline. So actually I could delete this, but it was just a big push up and then sideways. It made all-time highs again. There were maybe like three setups. Well, actually, there was really only maybe one valid setup that I found, but I ended up taking two trades. One was a loser, which really shouldn't have happened because I got impatient. And the second was also shouldn't have happened, but it was a winner. But I'm still red for the day because the winner did not wash out all the losses on the loser. I'm going to get to it when I get there, but essentially the second trade was a trigger reaction. So I'll show you when I get there. There was no economic data that came out today to really move the markets. Kind of a bummer of a day because it was slow. I let my impatience get the better of me, as well as, just getting a gut punch because I was punished for such a bad trade. So the pre-market is sold off. Looked like it was moving down this orange channel, break, tested low, but then it keeps going. So I thought it might have been a spike and then a more shallow channel, but there's really no setups for me here because there's also in the pre-market, which I don't trade. Pushes up on this orange up channel. It looks like it was moving sideways, and then on the open, it starts pushing up. So it starts pushing up, creates a new high. It's a first entry long. Technically, you have a hidden second entry long here, but this is kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Looks like it was a spike, and it was moving up this red channel. As it was moving up, it does give you a second entry long, which would have been nice if the signal bar wasn't red, because it looked like it was a break, tested the low, bounced off the signal bar. And at the time, in real time, this is maybe the second, you could say it's probably a one touch here, two touch. So like if you start the swing, three touch confirmation, but I didn't really like that this third touch is so far from the second. So you could essentially group these together, which is what I commonly do because they're so close together. It's pretty much just one valid touch, the second one. So not enough for a good key entry point, plus the signal bar was red. Pushes up, hoping for a higher low. You do get a higher low here, but it doesn't finish correctly. Pushes up. It's almost the high side, so I'm thinking I'm moving up this red up channel. Again, you really have no clean setups because you have a new high, first entry long pullback. You technically have a second entry long here, but the count resets. The fail breakout of this range pushes down. This actually sets up for my first trade, which I think almost immediately after I entered, I thought it was a bad trade. So it goes without saying it shouldn't have taken place. So it's actually a fail breakout, new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long. So this is what I did. I got too wrapped up in my mind trading. Not a good excuse, but trading has been very slow this past week. So I definitely was feeling a little anxious to try to get a trade in, but today was not the day to let that happen. So there's a fail breakout here. I'm expecting a fail breakout here. So you kind of get it right here. So this is me in real time. First entry long pullback, second entry long. Looks like it's two legs back. Clearly it's broken below the EMA. I do have this yellow up channel semi-established now because I have one touch, two touch, three touch, technically a fourth touch, but a breakout. So I'm expecting prices to move back into the yellow channel. So when this formed, I got it in my head that this is going to move back up at least for a quick 1 point scalp. So I was banking on my ability or the setup giving me the quick 1 point scalp. But this is not really a good trade because it's inside bar. Although it closed nice, it doesn't close decisively above the EMA because it's already broken below. So you can see I got the fill here. I waited through this noise, got stopped out. Now, this isn't even a good stop establishment because it's actually two ticks below here. But my usual stop is 3 points down. So I did lose the full 3 points. Now, this is so that's the first trade and it was a loss. I got it in my head. Keep in mind, this red down channel doesn't exist yet. I'm going to go ahead and adjust things. This red down channel doesn't exist yet. I did have it as it's shown now, transparent. And I was thinking, okay, there's a breakout here. Clearly, I'm right, which is no justification to take a trade. I thought clearly I'm right. Prices are going to move back up. So I just took it upon myself to say, this is a higher low. higher low opens. So as soon as this one closed, I said, I'm getting in on this trade. I'm right, which is stupid. I jumped in on the trade. It gives me the 1 point scalp, as you can see, but just barely. I am super duper lucky this trade even worked out because it never ticked through. I was just lucky that I was probably one of the few people in the queue to get the exit. Push this down because if I didn't, this candle definitely would have stopped me out. If not, for sure, this one would have stopped me out. And if not, this one definitely, because I likely would have put my stop below this guy or even lower at the swing low here. And this guy would have stopped me out. So got a 1 point scalp, lost 3 points. So I'm actually down 2 points. So seeing this, and you can see the timestamp. This happened at 7:04, and then you can see this trade happened at 7:07. So clearly, this is a trigger point, and this is a result of the trigger point, and I got rewarded for it, which I really shouldn't have. And I'm very fortunate that I was able to get a green trade on a really terrible setup after a really terrible setup I took and got a red trade. So knowing that, at least I had the mental, I guess, thought to think, okay, clearly I'm not mentally stable today. I shouldn't take any more trades. Walk away for red loss, and I'm glad I did because I didn't take any further trades. And today it didn't really yield all that many potential setups. So it's a new low, first entry short pullback, second entry short. Technically, you have a triple test here, but it does feel congested because if you look at this range, this is about 69.94 to about 69.98 and a half. So it's about a 4 point range with candles spanning almost half of the entire move. So this is very congested and very risky. Plus, I look to the left and I'm thinking prices are kind of slow. I also looked at the volume and it was kind of slow today. So prices continue moving in, moving, creates a failed breakout here. I was thinking it's going to move up this orange up channel, but this is a very ugly up channel. It's too wide for the size of it. Starts pushing down. I do see, and I thought there was a second entry long here. It's like a new high. First entry long. Technically, it's a first entry long here, second entry long here, but I saw it's a visual first entry, pullback, second entry, bounce off support. Decent signal bar, but knowing what I'm probably still hot under the collar right here, I decided, just stick with my plan. Got one loss, got one win, count my blessings. This isn't a good enough setup to try to, make something happen. It has to be even more bulletproof, especially when I know I'm not mentally even right now. So then prices move up. It looks like if I did take it, it would have been good enough for 1 point scalp. If you're going for like maybe 2 or 3, you got a late entry. This one probably would have came down and stopped you out and would have added loads of frustration. But then it looks like it's moving sideways. It's congested. It starts breaking out. Localized though. So actually, if you start to count here, it's like a first entry short pullback. You technically get your second entry short here, but it's not a good signal bar, not a clean setup. You're shorting at the high, which you don't really know that this is played out yet. So nothing here. Prices continue moving up. Moves up this yellow up channel. It's a new high. First entry long pullback. Second entry long. Unfortunately, this is a bad signal bar. Doji pushes down, pushes back up, moves up this green up channel. It's a new low. First entry short pullback. Second entry short. It's bad signal bar. No real trade here. Then it kind of sets up probably the only decent trade I think for the day. But again, I didn't really trust myself at this point. So it's a new high. It's a first entry long pullback. Second entry long. Second entry long. Looks like it is 2 legs down. EMA is kind of holding. Definitely better than this setup because it broke decisively through the EMA. This one just kind of a small violation, closes and moves back up. This green up channel probably wants to test the high. So it would have been good enough for maybe a 1 point scalp, but even then, you're really rolling the dice here. Prices move down. This likely would have stopped me out if I tried to take this trade if I didn't get out right here. Actually, I can take a look from here to here. So it would, if I got in at the high, it would have just ticked through. So it's a 5.5 tick trade, but still it feels very aggressive. The prices continue moving down. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to call this in hindsight thinking, I'm thinking I'd call it an almost trade, not really a possible trade. The reason being is It is at the high. If I'm in this range, or if the range high was even lower, this is a fail breakout. So if something like this was actually in real time, if I thought this is the range, then it's already failed to make a new high. It should probably be looking to make another touch of the low. So I'm not really sure what I was thinking just now, or when I said it was a possible trade. I think it's kind of dicey as a possible trade. Prices then continue moving, bounces off the bottom of this range. So I'm looking for a touch rejection up here for any possible short. Pushes through and just kind of hangs out outside. So there's no setup, no nothing to look for here now. Just sit on my hands. Prices continue moving up, bounce off the EMA. Unfortunately, there's no second entry setup here, although this would have been perfect spot for it. Pushes up this yellow up channel. No real second entry longs. New high, it's a first entry long pullback. You have the second entry long here, but things are just slowing down. Things aren't very attractive to trade right now. And then just kind of moves choppily into the close. So kind of a really slow day. Definitely something I probably should have just taken as a no trade day. I forced or I anticipated a setup which failed on me right here. Got triggered, immediately thought, well, I'm obviously right, took another trade. It did work out, but it's not, the reason it worked out isn't because I identified a good trade. It worked out because I took a bad trade and I just happened to be fortunate enough that it worked out for me. So yeah, I need to calm down and really, really, really wait for the good setups because I know I've seen this happen in my mind before where I might go on a tilt session from something like this, or it will affect me going forward because I'll not trust a decent setup, or I'll take another bad setup because I'm just eager to try to get the loss back. So hopefully that was helpful.